That can't be right. Wait, how do I get out of here? Hi, this is Brian, and I'm making a game with my daughter called The Keeper of Moonfell, which is an RPG where you operate a manor where guests come to stay, similar to an Airbnb. Since this is the first time trying to make a video game, I wanted to share some of the early gameplay, art, and challenges. This was our first interior house. This was a good starting point to continue testing the basics like collision, player movement, and how it looked on screen. Some of the challenges with the player movement were around the corners where they're sloped, and we needed collision there. So currently in this scene, you could walk right through them. Additionally, the player keeps getting caught on the edges of some of the boundaries, making it harder to pass through doorways and around objects. This was our first outdoor scene. We upgraded the main character, we added some NPCs, also played around with some different types of grass and adding wind so it would affect the movement of the grass. The yellow plants, if you walk through, also responded to the player as the player walked through them. The first tool we ever developed for the player was a magnet tool. And we thought that in a lot of RPGs, you push or pull blocks. So we thought it might be cool if you could do it not right next to a block, but further away. And so we created this tool. Now, this was on the initial concept when we were going to do a start to finish game that was more cyberpunk focused, and it was going to be centered around having different gadgets. So this made a lot of sense. Since we've shifted gears to more of a hotelier game or Airbnb type of game, I'm not sure if this is still going to make it into the final game, but we'll see. We also built a dialogue system, and this is most likely going to change because it still has the theme of more of a cyberpunk world. And this is just to show some different choices built into the system. Now we've added some furniture and items into the house, and you can see that I'm starting to get some of the collision on the slopes a little bit better, but you can still see the challenges we have. This is our cemetery scene. We've improved our art skills at this point, and also have tied text to objects and created a custom dialog box that sizes based on the amount of text. The tree border of the cemetery, which looks like black blobs, are temporary as we want to add drawn tree sprites there eventually. I have other ideas for quests that involve the monster tree and other ghostly events. This was our original city with more of a cyberpunk theme for our first game concept that we have moved away from, but it was good art and game design practice. And just for the fun of it, I set the light post to a property of metal so that the magnet tool would work on it. Here we are at the cemetery scene again. This time we've got another major update to the player's character. There's movement when the player's standing still, so it kind of brings them alive. Also added birds that are flying randomly. And the gate now opens. We've also added some rain and fog just to add to the overall mood of the scene. And then I thought it would be cool if there was some trigger that caused the birds to grab the player and take them off to another scene. Here we're back in the old house again. This time, collision on the slope walls is fully functional, and when you run against any wall, you'll automatically keep moving depending on how you're holding your joystick. The other thing is smoothing the corners. So if you get close to the edge of a corner, then the player will just keep moving around it automatically. Since this is going to be essentially a hotel, we needed to be able to decorate the hotel. And so this is our first version of a build system. And so it's incomplete. It needs a lot more objects added to it. And some of the objects that are in here need to be refreshed, and it's just things that we had laying around. And so you can change the wallpaper, and you can add different furniture objects, and you can move the objects around once you've placed them, as long as you're in build mode. The other idea that I want to add is some information for each piece of furniture or object that says how much it costs and what it does for you for the hotel. And so one of the ideas is having otherworldly guests who can come, like monsters, vampires, ghosts, etc. And so maybe there's certain types of furniture, certain types of objects, certain kinds of decorations that you can put that'll entice those kind of guests coming. We truly want this game to be something that you can make your own. You get to choose the style of your gameplay. You can run your manor like a business, or play more casually and do other things in the game, such as quests, fight monsters, solve puzzles, unlock hidden secrets, and other activities. One of the core objects of the game will be to run a successful hotel using your manor, with decision points along the way. For example, you will have to decide if you complete the cleaning and maintenance tasks yourself, or hire staff to handle the tasks. My daughter is still working on the art on the interior and exterior of the manor. What you see here just represents a test room for the build system, but we envision there are many rooms you can unlock, upgrade, and decorate, including guest rooms, a ballroom, dining room, billiard room, lounge area, and more. Additionally, we want to have add-on structures outside that help expand your manor, such as a conservatory and a chapel where the player can marry NPCs, and possibly horse stables where you have to tame wild horses and bring them to your stable. I also want to do a future video on how we build the cemetery, from the artwork to using the tiled app to bringing it alive on screen. Please subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss that video, and let us know in the comments if you have any questions or ideas to make our game better. Thank you for watching our video and following our progress.